Hello, good evening. It's Sunday. It's 8 o'clock UK time and 9 o'clock Central European time. It is time for ESC Fan TV. And look at that. The panel goes wild.
Woo!
I said the panel goes wild. We'll work on it, guys. We'll work on it. I know what you're saying. Where are Michelle and Phil? They're having a long earned rest this week. Rumour has it Michelle might be nursing a hangover, but more on that story later. Now, I've got a panel of fantastic guests ready to go through the latest in the Eurovision pre-selections. We've got Estonia, we've got Lithuania, and we've got Norway to take you through over the next hour. And I'm going to do that with the able assistance of, who should we go to first? The lovely Ian and Donna. Good evening.
Good evening.
Evening, everybody. Guys, it's going to be a packed night tonight, isn't it?
Oh, it is. There's so much to discuss. I am so looking forward to it. Just give me a tin foil covered box and call me a robot. We've also got the fantastic Mick. Good evening.
Good evening. Hello, everybody. Yes, it's all things all revving up now, isn't it? So it's all well and good. And Eurovision, the gift, that gift that keeps giving.
Oh, yes, we are speeding towards some Super Saturdays. All the way from Denmark, we've got the lovely Thomas. Good evening.
Good evening, guys. What an exciting evening. Great songs, not so great songs. And yes, Denmark is also playing a rather important handball match at the moment. So my lovely missus, Anya, could you please write the score in the chat sometimes? Thanks.
Hey, the question is, Thomas, were they winning before we started?
Yes, they were leading before we started, yes.
Hey, that is always good to hear. We've also got Brendan. Good evening, Brendan.
Hi there. Good evening, everyone. This is going to be a very busy one, isn't it?
It's going to be a very busy one. It's going to be a very windy one as well. Hopefully, it's not too bad where you are at the moment.
Just a bit bad, isn't it?
Yeah, just a bit. It's just a bit. We can hear the wind blowing around. For those of you that aren't accustomed to English weather and aren't over here at the moment, we have yet another storm brewing. And I'm not just talking about Eurovision fans complaining about the price of tickets for something yet again. And also, we've got Sean. Good evening, Sean.
Oh, this is going to be tricky because there's already a little bit of a delay and it's glitching. So the storm's already playing a little bit of havoc with me. Fingers crossed I can make it through because I've got some really nice things to say about loads of the songs.
Oh, do you know what? Fingers crossed you are going to be absolutely fine, Sean. And do you know what? I think I'm going to start nicknaming you the creator because obviously Sean has made the lovely videos today and also is doing some of the technical wizardry behind the scenes, as is Ian as well. So let's dive straight in and let's go over to Estonia and look at the songs that didn't quite make it through last night.
Just let my spirit speak. I don't know about you, but I thought we were forever. Oh, why do we stop dreaming? Before all is gone, here's where I draw the line. And I'll be good to you, baby girl. One night of passion, release the years of betrayal. Möda soda, möda soda, möda ilmamada. Möda soda, möda ilmamada. Living it up, oh. You're the one that crosses my mind.
Hey, there was some crackers there. I think we can all agree. Let's go straight over let's go to Sean straight away. Sean, are there any songs there that you think just slipped the net?
A couple. Yeah, a couple. First, I mean, there's just, where do you start? we've got it's Eesti Laul, whatever, however you pronounce it. It's a quality song competition at last, because oh my gosh, where do I start? First of all, Laura. Here's where I draw the line. I'm a big fan of Laura, and there's something a bit Bee Gees-ish about the start of this song, the very first few lines, about the backing singers as they come in. But the backing vocals are quite a big part of this song, because they do sing a few lines on their own without Laura taking part. And to be honest, if that's the case, I'd like to see those people on the stage rather than be backstage if they've been such a big part of the song. But I quite like the song. I love Laura, and I think, to be honest, that Verona not qualifying in 2017 is one of the biggest injustices in Eurovision history, I've got to say. Now, Wunderbar traffic. If you Google traffic Wunderbar, you get a map of traffic in a place called Wunderbar. I was just trying to look for a bit more research on it. But anyway, Robin Benson called and he wants his treadmills back. So thanks very much. I didn't like the cartoony woman's voice singing Wunderbar until it was kind of revealed that she was a big shiny gold star. It just felt like a bit of a mishmash between a couple of different songs, to be honest. But I listened to it again today. I liked it a bit more than last night. I want to talk about Ingmar and Dreaming, because I absolutely love his voice. He really should be in a West End musical. Really strong vocal, and I like the guys with the strings in the background. So yeah, I thought they were really good. Inga, no dog on a leash, quickly. She started on all fours. I was worried that she was going to cock her leg up at one point. So yeah, and finally, you were on Cartoon Oblivion. I love Ewart's voice. I'm not sure about the paper masks on the dancers, and that Ewart wasn't on stage at all for the first part of the song. I thought it was a bit weird, but the song itself is a fab, moody drum and bass track. Really, really liked it, and I think that's all I really want to comment on the non-qualifiers. And if you'll excuse me, I'm going to pop out of this room, come back in to see if my camera clears up.
Hey, that's okay, Sean. That was a real comprehensive rundown there. Let's go over to Thomas as well. Thomas, out of all of those songs that didn't qualify in Estonia, were there a couple there that you thought should have made it through?
Yeah, I quite agree with almost everything that Sean said. I really liked Ingmar with Dreaming. His voice is absolutely fantastic, and I really like the classical instruments. So, in my opinion, he should have got a spot in the final instead of a couple of those who went through. Cecilia with FOMO, I rather enjoyed that also. Who else was there? Yeah, Annette, Serotonin. I like that also. Yeah, there were quite some good songs there. Eesti Laul always delivers some good songs.
It does, doesn't it? I quite like the selection of it. I suppose the one thing, as someone who, as a Danish person, I did pick up on, is it Silvio Zentry last night, the one that basically sounded like they'd almost taken part of Riley's music from last year, with the da-da-da-da-da kind of thing that was running through the track. I don't know. You may have to listen to it again. If we could go back to the start, maybe listen to it again. No, my humour's not hitting tonight. I need to work on it more. Right. Don't forget, guys, please do comment away in the chat as well. We are listening to you. We are displaying your comments, and we are taking on some of your comments as well. Anya reckons that Sophia Rabina stole Gustav's hat. I don't know. Brendan, what do you think? Did she steal Gustav's hat?
No.
Well, Brendan, you're on mute at the moment.
There we are. I failed again.
Never mind.
No, Gustav's hat's not a lot nicer. I think hers is a cheap knockoff. Sorry.
And what did you think of the non-qualies? Were there any there that you picked out last night?
I was pleasantly surprised. There's some really good songs there. I wasn't expecting it, especially after Lithuania last week. I didn't realise what I let myself in for with Estonia. It's a different ballpark. It's brilliant. Yeah, I think the better ones went through myself, but I think Ollie. We're not talking about them now. Whoops. What was one of the ones I've completely forgotten? Yeah. Cecilia. I thought that was a really, really solid song. That's the one I don't quite get why she didn't get through. You're not going to get anything as comprehensive as you got from Sean from myself on this one.
No, do you know what I'm thinking? I'm
But,
thinking with Cecilia, she's come up as a few things that people have said, and I'm wondering if she was almost the bridesmaid, but not quite the bride, as it were, slipping into sixth. Don't forget, 5 went through. There's always going to be a bun fight at the bottom, isn't there?
Unfortunately, so.
It is unfortunate. Let's go to Ian and Donna. I know they're recovering from their Partez pas sans moi, and we're not talking about eternally singing a Celine Dion song well into the night, although that might have been part of their festivities last night.
Not quite.
Not quite. I mean, these Estonian finals, they're massive. There's 15 songs there. Only 5 went through. Was it too big? Should they have split this up?
Possibly, yes. It is quite large. I mean, we're used to sort of seeing a big one for Eurovision itself, restricted at 26. But, I don't know if people want to continue to engage with one mega, show like that. Well, I suppose if you've ever done San Remo, you get used to that kind of thing as well. I don't know. The ones that we're looking at tonight, we've got 6 and then 8 and then 15, isn't there, in Eesti Laul? But yeah, it feels like quite a lot go home in comparison to the ratio of the others, which is a bit of a shame because there's some absolute cracking songs in this.
Yeah. I think unless you're going to do a big, massive show like San Remo, 15 is probably in the wrong place. 10 or 12 is probably about right for a sort of medium size. 6 to 8 for a shorter one, like MGP or so on. So I think 15 is just a little bit too long. And it's we didn't watch the show live, but unless that's broken up with other acts and so on, it can become a bit of a slog.
Yeah.
Maybe just a little bit too long.
And then you've got 2 rounds of voting in that as well.
That's right enough, yeah.
So, I mean, you do get the 2 wild cards from the televote going through as well, which is a bit of a help, but still only 5 out of 15. That's 2/3 gone home.
Yeah, it's a lot going home on the first hurdle.
Yeah,
but there's some good stuff in there.
A bit of a slog as well.
I think just a few songs too many.
Yeah.
And they all start to blend a little bit together as well.
Yeah, especially if you've got the running order that, well, I think we saw it in the right order anyway, but you get a hell of a lot of female ballady bits and, but then that brings back the whole question of the producer-led running order, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This is true. Why
there
would
was
they
some solid
try
stuff in there that didn't get through, though, unfortunately. So,
sorry, Tom, say that again.
I was going to say, why would the producers ever want to advantage or disadvantage anyone?
Well, true. We like to think it's a fair, unbiased contest.
Well, to be fair, I mean, we've got the automatic qualifiers to talk about in a bit, but first, third, and 15th were the auto qualifiers in the end last night, which I thought was quite interesting.
Yeah,
because it kind of made the middle of the show less, interesting. There we go. That's where we're headed. I'll tell you what. Let's go over to Mick to wrap this one up before we do the actual qualifiers. Mick, what do you think? Bring you in on the conversation. Is 15 songs too many for a national final?
Yeah, I think it probably was. But when it's such a good quality, of songs, I didn't mind it so much. In other kind of national finals where there are fewer, songs in each kind of heat, but there's more heats, then that does seem to be a bit of a slog in others, and especially if the quality in those other places are not as good as Eesti Laul, which I just thought the standard this year of all the songs that were in that semi-final was just brilliant. And yeah, there's always going to be some that don't get through. And Sean, did the roundup really well. And I think, Dreaming, Ingmar, that's a shocker for me. I thought he would have definitely got through. But either do semi-finals of the same songs, same amount, or a shortest one semi-final, I think.
I'm gonna pull you back to Ingmar, because lots of people have said, Dreaming and everything, really good.
Yeah,
I may have not got the point of this, because he looked like an Estonian Alexander Rybak, but had a stringed instrument in front of him that he didn't touch all night, like throughout the entirety of his song. It just was there and did nothing. And I thought the song just seemed a bit repetitive. He was charismatic, don't get me wrong. I just, what was it about that song for you?
I think it was just the voice, and as Thomas says as well, the string section behind him. It was just something different for me that just stood out. And I must admit, I kept looking at his fiddle and wondering when he was going to start. But it just stood there, and that kind of a little bit distracting. But I think it was just the overall package that he gave. It's just the emotion in his voice and the performance was just, I thought, stunning.
No, interesting. Do you know what? I'm going to have to watch that back. Talking about watching things back, let's look at the songs that actually did make it through last night at Eastie. Okay, let's go straight over to Thomas on this. Thomas, if you had to pick one of those 5 songs, which one was your favourite qualifier last night?
Take a wild guess. Ollie, of course.
Yeah.
No contest. No contest. Everyone else, go home. Ollie for the win all the way. No contest.
Do you know what? I'm gonna have to use one of my team's favourite slogans here. But Thomas, this is why you're my favourite. Just saying. It's absolutely. I loved Ollie last night, but then I thought he was also robbed last year as well. So maybe there's a little bit of that in there. Is he going to be able to win in the final on the 17th of Feb?
He's absolutely one of the favorites. My biggest concern was that could he pull off another great song? Of course, he was robbed last year, but could he pull off another great song? Yes, he could. And yes, he can. So he is definitely one of the absolute favorites for going to Malmö this year.
Yeah, and I think he would be amazing there. I saw Ian and Donna smile very broadly when that was going on. Let's bring them in. Ian and Donna, is Ollie one of your favourites as well?
Yes.
Yeah, cracking song. And also just the way from it started with piano and then built.
Yeah.
It was like we kind of like, where's the band? Where's the band? Ah, there's the band.
I literally said that at that point. I was like, oh, his vocal as it started to build with that kind of like grittiness. I was like, this needs a rock band. Where's the rock band? Yes, there they are. It was brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. He's gonna knock it out of the park. There's a couple that could give him a bit of a close run for his money, but
what would you? So in terms of competition, because it is a competition after all.
Yes.
What provides the biggest threat?
Out of those few,
from the ones we saw last night, I think probably Europe and the Two Dragons has a chance.
Yes.
Maybe a bit gentle up against that.
but
and then
still
that
quality.
serotonin again's got that slightly rocky edge, which is not dissimilar.
Yes.
But
I do think Hewitt and the Two Dragons are the ones to watch.
Although I
'cause
think
his voice is
the dark horse
beautiful.
could well be this. Was it? I don't know how to say it properly. 5 minutes and pull up. It has that slightly bonkers edge that might be the thing that jumps it.
I was thinking LT United. As soon as I saw them to start going into their dance routine, I was thinking that oh god, here we go again.
But not necessarily for the quality of the song, but for the performance and the fun factor of it, that might be what the public go for.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll be Ollie's.
It could be interesting, couldn't it? It could be very, very interesting there. Let's go over to Brendan on this as well. Brendan, are you in agreement with Ollie, or are you thinking that there's an alternative?
No, I'm Ollie 100% as well. I just think he was a fantastic performer. It's just such a strong song. I'll admit that initially I didn't understand, didn't get it, but then as it built step by step, that song only got better. And I'd be very surprised if he doesn't go the whole way. And I think he'd do very well at Eurovision itself. So I really think that they need to go with him.
Well, be another great Ollie into the equation. See what I did there? No, it doesn't get any better, does it?
Very clever.
Is there any major competition there that you're thinking of? I mean,
sorry.
I was going to say, let's look at a couple of the ones mentioned in the chat, because Neil says the Dragons were my favourite of the night. I mean, what's your take on them, for example?
I think it's a fantastic band name, but I really didn't get that at all. It didn't do very much for me. It was completely lost. I think it was just all I wrote down was complete letdown. I do apologise.
Is it me, or did you? Yeah, I mean, when I saw the title, I kind of expected something akin to Puff the Magic Dragon, but that was just me. I was
expecting to maybe some hard rock of some sort. All right, it touched there, but it was a flop for me.
Yeah, it wasn't quite there, was it? Let's move on to Mick as well. Mick, obviously, you've looked at these with fresh eyes today as well, having been out raving last night. I don't know, all these dirty stuff outs, just saying.
Yes. I think my raving days are well and truly over, if this is how I feel after that.
To be fair, Mick had to get all the way back to Doncaster from Glasgow as well today.
This is also true. We did speak to Mick before the show. Mick said he got 3 hours sleep, so he's awake, which is always good. Yeah. Favorite song last night?
5 minutes and you're almost there. If you get the staging was awful. The costumes were drab and dull, and I shouldn't like the song, but I do. It's bonkers. I have a feeling that, as we all know, with the great Eurovision public, if anybody's going to vote for something, they're going to vote for that one. So yeah, on paper, I should have gone for that, and I do like it, but I'm going with everybody else. Ollie has to win. Ollie has to win. It's just a cracking song, and that's all you need to know. So
there we go.
I did like Hewitt, actually. I thought that was a good, strong kind of indie type song, really. So yeah, I think that might be the dark horse, as people have mentioned. But
I was going to say let's see. Knowing me as well as you do, Mick, what one do you reckon out of those 5, aside from Ollie, was probably one I bopped around the most to?
Well, as with all my Eurovision predictions, I'm probably going to get it all wrong. But I was thinking you might have gone for Serotonin, but
and you would be absolutely right. It would have been a travesty if that hadn't been in the top 5. Let's just quickly move on to Sean, just to wrap this one up. Sean, so far we're all sat on Team Ollie. Are you #Team Ollie too?
Oh, I'm torn. First of all, Serotonin. I had nothing to say when I watched that, and then I watched it again today in preparation for tonight's show, and I still got nothing to say on it, so I won't. That was the worst of the qualifiers, in my opinion. Quickly, Ollie, my friend, well, I didn't expect that. I don't remember him from last year, but he started at the piano, and I thought, he's got a nice voice. Then I thought, oh, nice, rocky, gravelly tones to his vocal. I wonder what it's going to be like on a rock song. And then, holy moly, John Bon Jovi. That's exactly what we got. He smashed it. It was brilliant. Really enjoyed it. You worked with the Two Dragons. I mean, Hold Me Now. What a preposterous name for a song. That's never going to be successful with in Eurovision. A title like Hold Me Now. How ridiculous. I love the black and white filter on this. I love the camera work. I love the angles, the lighting. And then towards the end, it burst into colour. I prefer... The dogs are kicking off. I prefer if it stayed in black and white throughout the whole song, I think, to be honest. I think it added a little bit of a more organic feel. It was a bit more raw. But it was just like watching a band on stage at a concert rather than a TV show performance. I really, really liked it. But I think for me, quickly on Peter Pan or Coraville, the freaky camera overlay at the beginning, I had to rewatch it to make sure that I hadn't imagined it. And then when I realised that I hadn't imagined it, I had to check that it definitely was Haribo's I were eating and not some other kind of gummies. But it was a decent electro pop song, which is right on my street. It's got a great voice. It seemed to have fun on stage as well, just, interacting with his bandmates. It was really good. But for me, 5 minutes and pulp, it is bonkers, high energy, bonkers, mayhem, that I think that's one to beat the final.
Hey, thanks, Sean. Right, guys, we're going to move away from Lithuania, but we're still going to stay in the Baltic. It's time to hop across to Lithuania, and let's just take a look at what didn't quite make the cut last night.
It is what it is. So blood on your head, stains on the life we built together. Oh, there's over fit in perfectly in my hook. I fit in.
Well, I think we all need to be sung a hug after that. Let's go straight to Mick. Did we see Thomas G's son last night? Get it? Thomas G's son.
Jerome.
Oh dear, Tom, don't give up your day job.
Just can't get the staff these days, can you?
Bring back Michelle and Phil.
Oh, cheers, guys. I'm
joking.
Really. No, come on, Mick. Let's have a serious discussion about these. We'll start off with Thomas G, though. What did you reckon to this one?
Nice smile is all I've got.
Wow, that was short. I tell you what, let's move on. What about the best of the rest?
No, not much. Ellie plodding. David Ass built up, but he had better air dye than a song. Paula, not special. Multics, okay.
Wow.
And Andreas, Andreas, yeah. Well, he definitely was a no-no because he had a top knot, and that's a crime against hair fashion. If you've got long hair, you should flaunt it. Did Hurricane not die for anything?
Well, in the words of Paula, it is what it is, isn't it, really? I suppose that's what we can say about that. Although I suspect if any of the singers get a hold of you, Mick, there might be blood on their hands by the end of it. Wouldn't I could keep this going all night. And tell you what, let's go to Brendan.
Yeah. I'll go in order. Andreas was at I think it's just a space filler. I don't know why he was there. It was very weird, and the is whatever the heck he was wearing. Yeah, that got me very confused. He's a bit lost, I think. Ellie, yeah, very very weak sort of weak voice. It looked like it was going to build up to something, but it didn't. I'm not really sure why. Davidas, Blood in Your Hands. He seems like he wants to be a Robbie Williams wannabe, with the hairstyle. But yeah, he was very boring though. At least Robbie Williams is entertaining. See, Paula was my favourite one. I don't know why. It just seemed a little bit more professional, a bit more clean cut. I think she deserved better. I'm not sure why it was disliked so much, but it is what it is. That's what the competition's for. Thomas G, Us. Yeah, it was a very weak song, and his voice just wasn't strong enough for a weak song. Yeah, and Multikiss, is it? Actually, that's another one I quite like. That it was quite catchy. It was dull, but it was quite catchy. So those two I would have put through. Never mind. That's why I don't get the vote.
Do you know what? I think you've got a decent selection there. I think, what can we say? I mean, what do you reckon they could do to potentially improve the quality of songs, or is that too?
I think they're gonna have less heats. I think we're talking about Estonia and how they're maybe cramming too much into one. I think Lithuania are dragging out too many and trying to fill spaces. Maybe they need to have a heat less, maybe, and then it'll improve the quality of songs. Other than that, yeah, I haven't got the answer.
There we go. Thomas, let's go over to you. I mean, what's your view on this? Is it a case of, and I'm going to pull up Phil's comment here, Lithuania have too many heats and too many songs competing?
Totally agree. I think there's too many weak songs in, especially in this heat. I was very disappointed. I've listened to the songs in the studio versions at first, and then saw the live versions earlier today. I must say, Blood on Your Hands disappointed me in the studio versions, but absolutely surprised me in the live performance. That was a surprise for me. I actually quite like it. Adrios, Sing Me a Hug. Yeah, I needed a hug after that. I had to stop viewing it. It was just awful. Multikicks. It reminded me of a theme song for a very, very, very bad police TV show at the beach or something like that. It just got to me. It's just a bad TV show theme song. Ellie, Rock My Body. Yeah, it's an okay song. For me, the best of the non-qualifiers was Blood on Your Hands or Paula.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think I could probably go with that. Although Blood on Your Hands, possibly. Yeah, it could have done more on stage, couldn't he? Where should we go to? Sean or Ian and Donna? It's like a little bit of roulette there. We're gonna go for Sean, because I don't think Ian and Donna have gone last yet. There we go. Sean, what do we think? Are you as scathing as everybody else?
Do you really want to go there? My one-word review: Thomas G. Shite. Sorry. Right, but Ely, Rock My Body. I thought it was an average song, weak vocals, and a half-hearted dance break in the middle. I mean, I don't think they were trying to out-hair Hurricane, Hurricane, but it didn't work. And also, Why the Water? At the end, is that the right one? I can't remember. Anyway. It was, weren't it? They had water at the end. And I'm thinking, well, if you're going to get water on at the end of the big... you're going to get wet. Otherwise, there's no point in it being there, right? So don't do water, not get wet.
You've already got Michelle's seal of approval.
I don't care. I don't care. Who else? Oh, I think Andreas, Sing Me a Hug. Now, why is Qui-Gon Jinn from Star Wars in a singing competition? With his lightsaber. Am I allowed to say that this is the worst song ever written, Tom?
You've just said it. Although
Oh, shit, never
I would
mind.
actually like to remind you of a small thing here, and that's Lithuania's entry from 2002, which, if you remember, was called "Happy You." Do you remember it? Do you remember
No.
the lyrics of it?
I do.
No, I can't even remember what I had for my tea yesterday.
I
Never mind
mean,
what happened in
I'm going to have to pull
2002.
these lyrics up on my computer screen just to share with you what you could have won
Okay.
with this, because, you know, was it? Want to show to you alone, the world around has highs and lows, glowing stars and dancing moon, happy I, 'cause happy you.
I'm a big fan of that one, Tom.
Are you? Oh,
I am,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
That was amazing.
Watching
I've
the
got some
sun
more
rise,
lyrics for you. I've got some more
red
lyrics for you from Sing Me a Hug, the chorus. You fit in perfectly in my hug. I fit in perfectly in your hug. You're feeling my hug, I'm feeling your hug. I mean, it fits in perfectly in the bin.
And we don't want to put in. Right, let's move on to Ian and Dom.
Oh,
One
dear.
One quick
Oh,
before you
go on,
go.
quickly.
Sorry, before you go, quickly. Sorry, don't to kick it off. Oh, come back to me about Paula.
Oh, let's go across to Ian and Donna.
Oh,
There
the
we go.
chaos.
Aside from the fact that I've just managed to slag off one of your favourite Lithuanian songs,
That's fine. I'll forgive you. Maybe
that's,
a bit.
that's fine. You came down hard on Estonia 97. No,
That's
Croatia
very
97. Globudi May, which means
Is
wake,
this touche, Tom?
wake me up in wake me up in Croatian. That's a great song. I'm gonna have to send you the English version.
We'll debate that later. Okay, great.
But let's go down to business. What about this
Okay,
one?
so I'm going to say something nice about Thomas G. He was just a little bit too young and inexperienced. He's definitely got potential, and he has a nice voice. He just needs to get there. He's not there yet. He's entered too early, and he just needs a bit more experience under his belt, and then something good may come from that. This is not it right now, but it's good experience for him. So maybe that's all he was entering for. Maybe not to seriously contend the win, just to kind of get in there and get the experience, which is perfectly valid as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Andreas, what happened? I mean, he came up with some of the best lyrics ever when he entered the first time round, like 10 odd years ago with his
2013.
shoes. Yes,
Yeah.
the shoes that he's wearing today.
One called Love, the other called
Pain. Yes, fabulous lyrics. And then this, bless him. But yes, I thought it was like Luke Skywalker off Wish. Bless him. To channeling my inner Michelle there. Right, Hen. Any for you?
The only one I thought really lost out was Blood on Your Hands.
Yeah. I loved his voice.
Really good vocal. Has a wee kind of Radioheady kind of vibe and some of the instrumentation behind it.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't think the standard was particularly great. I did quite like Sylvanas, the kind of folk rocky one.
But we'll
Kind
get
of like
onto
that kind
that
of
in a
music anyway,
minute.
but that was quite, and it felt more all from the country itself. Quite a lot of
we're
these
not
are
on that
quite
yet.
generic pop, which probably could have come from any country. Whereas I quite like it when you can tell, yeah, this is
Is this
Lithuania.
your cultural orgasm, Ian?
Not quite.
Yeah.
Wasn't quite that good, but it's quite nice to get a bit
Where's
of
Owen when you need
the music
him?
from the country.
Well, I
but-
actually thought Paula did all right. I'm
Yeah.
going to agree with you, Thomas. And there was something about Paula. I thought she had a very good vocal. And she started off well, but the song was two different songs, wasn't it? It was sort of mashed together, and you got this intense dance beat, which I don't know. It didn't quite do it for me. But I thought it was very promising with the dress and the look in the light and stuff, and then it just went, oh, and she's there on this big stage, no backing dancers, nothing to really like shape the song. And it was like two songs warring with each other. It was a bit of a shame, but I still quite liked it in a weird way. So yeah, that kind of sums that up for us. so far.
Hey, thanks, guys. I tell you what, let's stay with you guys whilst we look at the two songs that actually qualified last night.
We will rule the world. Together we'll face it all.
Short, sharp, and sweet. Don't worry, Lee. We are going to be moving on from Lithuania very soon. Ian and Donna, which one are you going to go for?
Well, I think Ian already just said it, honestly. The folky rock group.
Yeah.
I did not really care for the other one at all.
Did you think she was flat? This is I thought she was flatter than
a pancake. Yes.
Yeah, basically.
She was not necessarily in tune for some of that at all either. Actually, the costumes summed up the vocal, really. A bit of a mishmash.
Yeah, and you know what,
Sorry.
Sam? I'm just gonna look at Sam's comment there. I think that sums it up beautifully. There, it's almost like they might be relying on the Roop again. Who knew? Do you know what, panel? I love you all dearly, but can we just see a thumbs up? So, who really liked Rule the World last night? Just give me a thumbs up or a wave. Or Tumbleweed. Look at that. Look at that running through. And who really liked the folk song last night? Hey, there we go. We've got some comments on the folk song. Who should we go for? I'm going to pick two of you to tell me what you liked about the folk song. I'm going to go for Thomas because I know Thomas will be in a good mood. You've got me hooked onto the handball score, Thomas. It's currently Norway 18, Denmark 24, if I'm looking at the right one, I think. Who knows? Thomas, folk song. Why do you like this one?
I actually like the difference between the traditional sound and then the rock pop sound, and the two ladies sang it beautifully. So I think they could be a dark horse for the win. Of course, the Roop is the big favorite, but I think this one might do well.
Yeah, absolutely. With you all the way on that. And let's go across to Brendan. Brendan, what did you really like about this one?
Yeah, the vocals were great, but it was Jan vibes for me. I just thought, I saw it with a bit of polishing. That is a dark horse. That could been really warm on people.
Yeah, do you know what? I think you are bang on the money. Right, guys, do you know what? I think that's enough time spent on Lithuania. We shall leave them until next week. But let's move on. We have to do the non-qualies first. There's a reason we're doing Norway last, guys. Might have been my moment of the national final so far, just saying. But let's look at the non-qualies of Norway last night. Sean, your choice of clip for that last one, absolutely inspired.
I know.
Let's just come to you on that. That is just brilliant. Over to you, Sean.
Penis. But it sounds like she's singing penis as well. So that's touch my penis, not touch your Venus. Sorry. I love her operatic voice, don't get me wrong. And I love her frock. That was ace. I loved it. But I'd like to see her perform a full, proper operatic song. I'd really like that. Her random voice afflictions in this and her mannerisms on stage, I just found really annoying, unfortunately. So, yeah, come back next year and sing some proper opera, please, love. Oh, Milo, you're mine. I'm gutted. I love that song. I really, really like it. And I had to watch the first 30 seconds stood on my head to see what was going on, obviously, because he started tipped up. But I love the psycho-possessed nurses. They were great. I thought they were brilliant. It's a bit off the wall, isn't it? Almost kind of like a Luke Black, in some kind of ways from last year. The stage and the dancers made a good song. Great. I really, really enjoyed the performance of Your Mind. And Hard Take, big red oversized coat. It was massive. Wasn't it huge? It's like when you order something small, size small off ASOS. That's what you get. It's bloody massive. I love the big note at the end of that song as well, when she just falls backward off the stage. Fantastic. It was a really decent pop song, but I didn't think it was going anywhere. But for me, Milo, Your Man was the best of those non-qualifiers, and I wish it had gone through.
Hey, thank you very much, Sean. Tracy's got a point here. No comparison. Non-qualifiers of Norway better than qualifiers from Lithuania. Thomas, do you agree?
Yes, I agree. But I also must say, in Norway Heat 2, I'm a little bit disappointed. I don't think the quality this week was Norway's finest. I am disappointed in Farida. I have hopes she comes with something better. Yes, it's okay song. I won't skip it, but it's also a song I don't want to press play. Milo, yes, it's okay song. My note is I don't know what to say about this song. And Eli, yes, this is this year's James Bond theme song. This could easily be the next theme song for James Bond. So yes, a little bit disappointed actually.
Do you think that, because we see this in MGP, they have a really strong kind of like first round, then we have kind of like a couple of weak rounds, and then we have another strong round. Do you reckon it's deliberately set up like this to maybe advantage some acts in the final potentially?
Possibly. Then we have some bad songs, and then all the favorites come at the end, and then yes, wow, what an amazing song compared with the last 2 weeks. So it could be very well be on purpose by the producers.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting scenario there. Let's go across to Mick. What do you reckon? Let's hear Farida. That's what I'd like your views on.
Well, I'm afraid I've said, yeah, upbeat song. I like her boots, and that's it. It wasn't a good opener, I don't think, really. So, and Milo, I think Sertab Erina wants a ribbons back. But I did like the Scary Nurses, you know.
Oh, there we go.
I'm working in that profession. I've worked for a few Scary Nurses myself. So, yeah, they did it, and I must admit, he was a surprise non-qualifier, really, you know. And I was trying to think who he reminded me of a little bit, and I think it was Milan Stankovic. Was it a Serbia? You know, it had that kind of weirdness about it. But I think Milan could sing a bit better than dear old Milo or Milo.
Yeah, I think you are right there. Neil says all broadcasters seed their semi-finals. SVT have been doing it quietly for years. Yeah, so true. Although let's face it, if the BBC weren't so rubbish about doing seeding in their semi-finals, we never would have got Surrey in 2018. You know, and she was a real highlight. So sometimes seeding is not always for the best. Ian and Donna, let's come across to you. What do you reckon? First three from Norway.
This one's definitely a lot weaker round than last week. I don't know. I was a bit disappointed with them all, honestly. It's a bit of a shame. But, yeah, I thought the opera lady should have actually done more opera and not been so scary. Those little moments where she did have her operatic flourishes was like Kate Bush gone wrong. And you know, I kept wanting to say like she's uncomfortable with that dress. the amount of tape that would have been needed to keep that all together would have been incredible.
I've actually kind of forgotten to zip it up.
Yeah. But the zipper broke or something. It's
Yeah.
like, oh well, I'll have to go on and do it anyway. Yeah, beautiful voice, and opera's her natural niche. So yeah, I agree with Sean there. I'd like to hear her do some of what she's good at, and not try and do a poor version of James Bond. Yeah, that didn't work for me at all.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Farida was kind of all right. I mean, she did appear to be wearing like the lagging off a hot water cylinder at the top of the song,
and then took it off because she got a bit too hot. Yeah,
bit strange. But no, and then Milo.
Milo's presentation I really liked.
Yeah,
and I like his voice. And the scary nurses were fantastic. I thought, oh, here we go. We're going to get something. And I think he said he was trying to channel his horror movies and anime. And I could definitely see that with that. And, you know, the scary nurse is like something out of Silent Hill or something like that in the computer game world. So, yeah, you got a little essence of like Luke Black stuff there. But his lyrics for me in that song were just that little bit that maybe didn't get him the votes, because I mean he talked about killing his partner, and then that's fine because she's mine. I'm not probably not the best way to look at it.
Not quite the best topic material, is it? Really?
Not really. No. I mean, if you push the boat far enough, then yes, you've got this extreme setting, which is totally fictional, blah blah blah, and it can work. But that may have, I feel, not got him the votes that pushed him over the line, which was a bit of a shame, because otherwise I actually quite like it. And I think perhaps he should have got through over some of the others that did. But there we are.
It happens. Who haven't I spoken to? I'm sure there are some people out there. People are shaking their heads at me. Rest of the panel, do you want to offer some comments on Norway's non-qualifiers, or shall we go straight to the qualies? Let's go straight to the qualies. Let's just go all in. Off we go.
Let's do this.
Give me one more day just to feel again.
Straight in with Brendan. Let's go straight to Brendan. Brendan, what are we thinking here? We've got 3 qualifiers there.
I think the best 3 definitely went through. I think I'll start with, is it Gatti?
Yeah.
Now, to me, it's just the Vikings program backing music. I don't think it's a song on its own. I really didn't get it. As in all the hype over the last 24 hours at this point, that's lost on me. I appreciate it, but no, not for Eurovision. The duet, yeah, I quite like that, but I did like Common Linnets as well, so it seems very similar along the lines of that for me. So I quite enjoyed that one. But I'm sure some people agree, some people disagree, but Super Rob, My AI, that's what we all needed. I really enjoyed that. All right, her vocals were pathetic at best, but it's such a good song in my eyes that you don't need to be good at singing for that, and I think that'll get everybody in the crowd going if it gets there. Now I'm a big Kano fan, but I don't mind if that goes instead, but it better not.
Hey, I
dare
like
you
that.
get out.
I think, well, do you know what? Funnily enough, Sean, I was about to drag you in because Sean is also a big Kano fan. And how would you feel if My AI? I mean, and I'm just going to flag this up because, Stu isn't with us tonight, but, Stu has dubbed this as an escapee from Dolly Style, which is brilliant. But how would you feel if this went
I'd
to
be
Eurovision?
gutted if you know what's going to happen, right? So this bloody Super Rob and Erica, my AI, is going to end up beating Kano, and then we're going to take it off. It'll be ticks under there.
That
really wouldn't surprise me.
Adams, but you know.
No, I would be gutted because I think Kano got a really good chance still. I really do. On paper, this is everything I should love. Super Rob and Erica, my AI. But the performance wasn't the best. Now, I'm not going to elaborate on that because I know there's been a bit of a backlash on social media, and she's taken to social media to address that today. So we know she's quite upset. So I shan't comment further on that. Apart from the robot, is supposed to be superhero, but he spent 2/3 of the song stood rooted to the spot at the back of the stage. It's just like, you know, I expected more of a performance from the robot, you know, but he just didn't do anything really. And at one point, she says in the lyrics, "I really want to meet you in person." They stood right behind her. I just thought, hey, it just makes sense. And also, just one point I want to pick up on is that if you listen to the vocal, there's something really, really familiar about the robot's vocal. I think it's Ben Adams. I think it's the guys behind Subwoofer behind this. I really do, honestly. I do. Anyway, what do you think?
It's interesting. Personally, I thought all we needed was some Power Rangers to kind of navigate the Thunderzord, but that was just my numpties geekiness coming out.
Listen to the last couple of Subwoofer songs and compare them vocals. They're identical, honestly. Also, Violet, Gatti, Olverham, whatever it's called, I didn't get it at all. I'm sorry. I know everybody loves it. And it started like a dancey clanad, which I'm all up for. And then the second of the half was just a lot of wailing. But everyone else seemed to love it, so whatever. And finally, Judge Tenley of me, on paper, this is everything I should hate. And as it started, I already didn't really want to like it, but it was brilliant. I absolutely loved it. I think both the voices blend so well together. They really complement each other. That's going on my playlist. I really, really liked it. I'm really pleased it qualified. So, yeah, cool.
Cool. I tell you what, let's go over to our favourite couple of the night, Ian and Donna. I just thought, I have to say, of the night, I thought Michelle and Phil are going to be slaughtering me for that one.
Well, exactly. You know, that won't go down that well.
Do not be dissing the king and queen of ESC fan TV.
let's think about this. Two singers, a microphone joined together, singing a folksy ballad. Has this got potential? Is this the hidden hit?
Well, it nearly worked for the Common Linnet, so you know, I thought they were good.
I really like this one. I think he needs to be a bit more stronger with his vocal because she's overpowering him a little bit at times because her voice is a bit more distinctive, but it's good. So maybe a wee bit gentle, but it's a good song.
It might have to work out a little bit of the camera moves and the moving with the mic stands. It wasn't quite as smooth as it could be, but I like that.
That's easily fixed, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the song's good. That's the key thing. You can fix all the other bits, but if the song's pish, then you're sunk.
Yeah, well, we've been needing a nice country one, I think, for a long while, and it's been popular in a lot of different countries in Europe as a style for a while. So I think this one has a lot of potential. And I wouldn't be sad to see this one get through and make it all the way. Yeah, I like this.
Super Rob?
I'm not going to comment.
Oh.
Well, I will comment. I thought it was shit. Terrible. Didn't like it. Sorry.
I think it's more that it's not that I didn't like it. It's more I didn't get it. I wasn't, you know, I think I preferred Gate. And the kind of like, I would say like Secret Garden-esque style number that they did. Because there's not a lot of lyrical content really in there. I say there is a little bit of wailing and atmosphere and stuff. But yeah, it is. I prefer that much more to having a fake robot and someone straight out of an anime mashup. Yeah, didn't get it for me.
Yeah, no, I did go with that one. It's more of what I like in terms of music anyway. The wailing does go on a bit too much, but
not sure about a little turntable either.
I quite like the wee turntable.
Oh.
It was nice.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. Thomas, you can breathe a sigh of relief. The handball match is over, so it's all done and dusted. Yes, Denmark won. 29-23, I believe. So, Thomas, I've got to get your opinions on this. My AI. What did you think?
My mother taught me not to swear.
I knew you'd be great with that.
Do it.
It's fucking awful. It's 19th Aqua rip off. She almost sounded like Lene Nyström. The robots looked like a transformer ordered from Wish. I think it should. No.
I tell you what. Let's bring you back to your happy place. What about Judge Tenderly of Me?
The absolutely best song of the evening. No
There
doubt
we
in my
go.
mind. No doubt in my mind. The first 2 seconds I heard of the song, it reminded me of my sister-in-law. I knew she would love it, and she does. It's amazing. Of course, it reminds everyone of the Common Linnets, but that went absolutely well. So, best song of the evening, and Gotte, is the best runner-up of the evening, no doubt.
Hey, thanks, Thomas. Mick, which one are you picking as your favourite?
Well, it was a quite a difference in all three there. I think the surprise would be the duet, because country music is not really my cup of tea. But as Thomas said, it was the best vocal of the night, and it really was a gentle and beautiful song. And I thought, that although that was a surprise qualifier for me, I think it did deserve it, because it was just beautiful, really, and quite surprising, really. And my own personal thing on the what is it, robot man and whoever she is I think the grand reveal, if they do get to the final, when they take the head off, it'll be Petra Murder.
That's ridiculous.
Isn't that the wrong country? I'm just saying.
That's Sweden.
Well, they've not hired her for the hosting. She's got to get in there somewhere.
Oh, I tell you, I put there, Tom. Let's give my AI some love. Unsurprisingly, my AI was my favourite of the night. By the way, guys, just so we're clear on this. I posted the screen grab on Facebook with the words that Eurovision National Finals never fail to disappoint, because that was just absolutely superb. And I would love, just as I was Team Subwoofer a couple of years ago, I would absolutely love my AI to get through to Eurovision. Where am I left to go? This is the good question. I can't. Brendan, have I been to you for your views on Norway's top three?
You have already, yes.
Oh, who haven't I been to? Have I been to everyone? I
Yep.
really should be making notes on this. I'm clearly out of practice. Well, in which case, I'm going to give my views. My AI, absolutely brilliant. Moment of the night, moment of the season so far. Luxembourg, I hope you take notice of this. I shall be in Luxembourg next weekend. I'm looking forward to a moment like that from at least one song. Maybe I'll get it. Or failing that, give me a moment like Judge Tenderly of Me, which I also absolutely adored last night as well. Well deserved. And yes, I did like Garte, but I did think it was a foregone conclusion it was going to qualify. And it didn't necessarily bring the smile to my face as much as the others. Guys, we have, alas, come to the end of tonight's show. Big R from the audience there. Thank you very much. There we go. We will be back next week to go through some more national finals. As I've said to you, I'm in Luxembourg next weekend. Very much looking forward to seeing that as they make their return. They hold their first national final in 31 years as they make their return to the Eurovision stage. Meanwhile, Norway's back with some more fun. I believe Lithuania's back with some more fun. Estonia, you've got to wait till the 17th of January. But this Eurovision pre-selection machine keeps marching on. You can catch up with us in the week via YouTube, via X, via Instagram, via Mastodon, via Facebook, and also, let's face it, Michelle has been making some absolutely stunning TikToks as well. Keep up to date, keep the conversation going on there. Thank you all for joining us this week, and we'll see you next week as well. Thank you very much. Take care, and bye-bye.
Bye.